Well, just before we came on air, I spoke to the Palestinian ambassador, Husam Zomlot, and asked him if he's taking the Trump plan seriously.
Of course, you do too. Everybody should take this seriously because this is no longer about Palestine. We, the Palestinian people, are used to this. We've been subjected to a war of extermination for 100 years. We resisted, we existed, we remained, and here we are.
But do you think that is now American policy?
It's failed. So apparently it has found some purchase. The Zionist idea of cleansing Palestine is finding some purchase. So it's a huge reason and call for concern and action. It has to do with our international order.
Are you relieved then that the rest of the world, almost, without exception, has already said, no, we still believe in two-state solution and Palestinians must resettle in their homeland?
Of course, that's a source of support and empowerment, that it is that position that is isolated. And our position is being supported by the vast majority of the world, particularly the region.
So what do you say? I mean, the US envoy, Mr. Witkoff, has said a better life is not necessarily tied to a physical space.
That's none of his business. It's as simple as that. Maybe he would accept that many Americans would be called to leave their homes. What is this logic? This is sick. The Palestinian people are not illegal immigrants. Even illegal immigrants in the US have rights. This is our home, and we ain't going anywhere.
I mean, some people think this is a bit of a distraction policy, that there is something else going on, perhaps around the annexation of the West Bank.
Yes.
And that's what's really about to happen.
Yes, perhaps. And he said that for weeks, and we'll announce our new policy on the West Bank. So you might be right that this is tactical, it's a diversion, it's a distraction. Still, it is very dangerous. The whole logic of mass expulsion, of ethnic cleansing, today, in this age and time, unthinkable. So we expect the international community to actually unite at this point in time and fend off this. Otherwise, believe you me, everybody is watching. What comes next will not be Palestine.
But it's clear that the logic of
Gaza
this...
was the last of a barrage of claims. He wants to take over Canada, Panama, Greenland, and what have you. So this is not a joke. It's not a joke.
The logic from the Trump position is, well, this is going to take, a decade or more to rebuild. And the rebuilding is the thing that Israel effectively has a stranglehold on. If Gaza is not able to rebuild and life is completely unsustainable there, which they can make it, I mean, what can you or the outside world do about it?
We just need to remove that Israeli stranglehold. That's what we need to remove. We remove the root cause of all this. We have to exert the pressure that is needed. Israel is not a fact of life. Israel also is subjected to pressure and functions under pressure, and go back to history. The problem is, we have never really, and this brings me to the main point, the international community has left this to fester until we get Netanyahu and Smotrich and Ben-Gvir, who believe in the full erasure of Palestine, and they go to Washington and they find purchase. So now is the time when we think again, and how do we, as an international community, actually take the situation out of this complete off-a-cliff scenario into a track whereby Gaza is rebuilt, Gaza is united with the West Bank, a state of Palestine is established, the occupation ends.
Do you think this jeopardizes the next phase of the ceasefire?
It could, and hopefully it will not, because that would be the catastrophic scenario. That would be the worst of all scenarios. I mean, to go back to the time of genocide, the mass murder and the mass destruction we should never go back there. Time is for action. That's why this is the moment for the UK to recognize the state of Palestine. This is the time for the UK to take a leading position in the international community to implement the two-state solution. This is the time to empower peace and to become peacemakers, no matter what side shows and what big statements are made anywhere.
Ambassador, thank you very much.